Welcome back to Detective Comments, where we don't just read the comics, we sit with what they're trying to tell us about the world we live in. Now, we're continuing the thread from last week's episode, which is looking at the current Batman run of the Hush 2 arc and Detective Comics. And Bruce Wayne's losing the ability to feel fear. But this week's issues push that further. He starts to realize fear isn't just a weakness, it's a muscle he's been training his entire life. Now it's atrophying. And some of the key moments are Bruce fails to anticipate a trap because he no longer feels the instinctive, this is wrong gut feeling. And in Detective Comics 1098, he confronts a fear toxin enhanced villain. And for the first time, the toxin does almost nothing, and the villain screams, "You're broken." And Bruce replies, "No, I'm just empty." And then later on, he talks to Oracle, Barbara Gordon, and says, "Fear kept me sharp, but without it, I'm just a machine in a cape." Now, the comics don't treat this as a superpower. They treat it as a wound. Fear, they argue, isn't the enemy. It's the signal that something matters. And if you lose that signal, you lose part of what makes you human. And this lands quite hard in 2026. We're in a 6 year of overlapping crises, pandemics, aftershocks, climate grief, political violence, economic instability, mass shootings. You could go on. And mental health professionals are documenting fear fatigue and trauma, blunting people on a population scale. People report going numb to new tragedies because the nervous system just keeps firing at full strength, but it can't do it forever without having a negative effect. And numbness isn't healing, it's adaptation. And adaptation in crisis is when you stop flinching at sirens, at headlines, at violence. But what else stops registering? And what happens when that adaptation becomes costly to you? What about connection? What about outrage? What about the impulse to help others? So this Batman run doesn't offer a cure, but it posits a question. What if fear isn't something to conquer, but something to maintain? A muscle you have to keep exercising so you can still feel when something is truly wrong. Now, in the final pages of Detective Comics 1098, Bruce stands on a rooftop, the city's burning below, and he forces himself to remember a childhood memory, his parents' murder, until the old terror flickers back just for a second, and it hurts him, but he exhales like a man remembering how to breathe. And that small act, choosing to feel the pain again, is framed as his strength, not invulnerability, vulnerability. So here's my question to you this week. Have you ever caught yourself going numb to things that used to scare you or hurt you? And if you could choose to feel it again, would you? All of this reminds me of a Doctor Who episode where Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor, says that courage isn't not feeling fear, it's being afraid and doing something anyway. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. And that is essentially what this whole arc of Detective Comments and the arc of Detective Comics is trying to illustrate. And it's a very powerful motivator, fear, and it keeps us on the edge, focused, and shouldn't be seen as a weakness because, as the good old doctor once said in another episode called Listen, it's a superpower. So anyway, I digress. As always, drop your thoughts in the comments. I do read every one. What does fear mean to you in 2026? Is it a burden? Is it a warning? Or is it something else? As always, this is Detective Comments, and fear isn't the enemy. Losing it might be.